what's up? This is Cece from Black Veil Brides, and you are about to get entertained by the Kreepy Kama Show.
My favorite part about you on tour with us is you literally, we won't see you for like 3 weeks, and you'll just walk on the bus like you were there last night and just be like, what's up, guys? Like, it's no big deal. And I'm just like, what the hell are you doing here? What's up, dude? Like, it's just like, it's your home. You know it's your home. You feel comfortable. And like, we all obviously always love seeing you. So it's always like the coolest thing. We'll just be in the front lounge, like doing nothing, watching someone play video games or playing video games. You just walk in like, hey guys, what's up? And it's just like, what the hell, dude? Like, I haven't seen you in 3 weeks. Like,
it feels good
badass
to have extended family like that. Just so you people at home, if you haven't actually seen him play drums, I can attest to the fact that he kicks ass. And
thanks, man. I didn't even have to pay you to say that.
No, he didn't have to.
I'm joking. My favorite thing to do is perform live. I mean, that's kind of what, you know, seeing people performing is what got me into music.
Sure.
Well, obviously listening and stuff, but it's like that. My favorite thing to do is perform live. So when we do a live set, we have those songs that are more laid back, you know, four on the floor, like easy beats. And then there's gnarly ones where I'm like, I'm gonna have a heart attack at the end of the song, which is good because, you know, our live set's diverse.
So who, like as a youth, you know, really inspired you to get into drumming, say, you know, I mean, to some degree, and how did you, you know, get this relationship hopping with Black Veil?
So it was a drum line, like the high school drum line that actually got me into it. And so like I always thought that you could like feel the percussion, like the actual, you could feel the drums and it had a pulse, you know, had a beat, and it was like a heartbeat, and you know, it's soul almost. And to see so many dudes, you know, collectively make this sound, I was really into it, and they were all.
Did you do that all of your high school years?
Yeah, except for my senior year. Drumline got me into it. Started playing drums, doing all this, and I was in a previous touring band, and fast forward now to my 20s, and previous touring band and all this stuff. And I kind of created a name, and I met this guy. I had a producer that also worked with this really good guitarist named Jake Pitts. Jake had a buddy named Jinx, which is the other guitar player in Black Veil. So Jake, Jinx, and myself started a band. It was called 80 Proof Riot. And
those two guys are brilliant, by the way. If you don't know at home, Jinx and Jake are, I don't know, they're masterful on guitar. I mean, and so I can see this amalgamation starting to build.
Yeah,
right?
it was, dude, we had some awesome music, and we were always rehearsing. We never actually, that group never played live anywhere. Like, we never got like a record. I don't even think we got established, like, went on. I ended up leaving because I was always constantly traveling back and forth. We never performed, and it was just like, I was like, I'm just gonna go, like, I was working for a hospital. And so, it's funny enough, like, at that time, I still remember it visually. Jinx, I guess, met Andy and the Black Veil guys, and like Andy came out here from I guess Cincinnati or something, and that's where Black Veil Brides, like he started Black Veil Brides. And I remember him asking Jake, while the three of us were like, hey, do you want to help me write a record? Like, it's this band called Black Veil Brides. And Jake's like, yeah, sure, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
So they wrote the first Black Veil album. At that time, that's not why I quit, but at that time I was just kind of like, whatever. So I left. Then it ended up that Jake and Jinx both joined Black Veil Brides, and it ended up that there was an opening for a drummer position, and they were like, we got just the guy.
Yeah.
And so that's how I got in. And the last person I met actually was Andy, and I remember the first time I met like the whole group, we all sat down, was at the Rainbow, like Bar and Grill, you know. On Sunset.
Ironically.
Yeah, and so they just came out with their first album, and it was like that week, I think, or something, like shortly, like right before that. And I remember before like any of that, they were like, like trying to talk to me, and I was just like, before you guys do anything, I'm gonna buy a round of shots for everybody because you guys just had like a number 36, like a top 40 album. It's kind of crazy how like if, you know, X and Y didn't happen, then Z wouldn't happen.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like if I wasn't in that band that I was in previously with the producer, then I wouldn't have heard about Jake. Jake probably wouldn't have heard about me. You know, like it's just weird how it all worked out. And I mean, that's
kind of a metaphor for life, though. If you're kind of moving forward, I mean, it
so
really
many
is.
things in my life are like that. It's like, yeah, you know. At first, I was like, no, like, I don't know, because I gave up on music. I was working at a hospital.
Yeah.
And at first, like, when I got offered the position, I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to go on tour again because I had, like, you know, kind of nightmares previously touring, and all my money went to collection, or all my credit cards went to collections, and I was making no money, and, like, literally I couldn't afford to eat. I had to, like,
So you sacrificed.
Oh yeah, I definitely earned the stripes. So I like my parents would give me like a gift basket when I started tour, so I'd have like boxes of Triscuits and shit. So I had to steal the Taco Bell hot sauces and squirt them on the Triscuits and like eat that for dinner. Like, I was so broke.
Dude.
And so like I finally gave all of that up. Like all my credit cards went into collection. I got a job at a hospital. I started working and paying off like the credit cards and stuff and get my life back on track. And like as soon as I got it back on track, it's like, hey, you know,
a phone call?
and like,
Or not a phone call, but
yeah, and I don't want it to sound bad, but it's like the typical, we're going to sign to a major label, we're going to be the next biggest thing, and it's like, dude, I've heard this like 48 times by now, and it's just like, how do you decipher the ones that are like full of shit versus the ones that it's like actually happening? So one day I was just kind of like, you know, a little, I wouldn't say skeptical, but I don't know, I was just not in the mind frame of like even getting back to touring live.
Sure.
And one day I woke up and I was just like, why the hell wouldn't you do this? Like, you know, like,
just give it a day.
I'm not like stoked on working at the hospital. I wasn't like, dude, I finally have my career. I'm excited. You know what I mean?
How old are you then?
I wasn't happy. I don't even
About like were you like 24, 23?
Yeah, probably about 23.
Right,
yeah. So I was just like,
you really had nothing to lose at that point.
No, not
you
at
still
all.
have like your whole life.
That's
in
why I
front of
woke
you,
up
right?
and I was like, what the fuck am I thinking? Like, oh, I'm not happy. I'm not stoked. Literally every day I'd wake up. I'm not a morning person, so I'd like be dry heaving because I hate mornings so much. I'd be like getting up to get in the shower, like, and just like it was so unnatural for my body to be doing it. I'm just like, why not? You know, like I'd much rather be performing.
It was meant to be, man. Your fan base identifies with not only the entire band but people individually, and there's a whole bunch of bands that like are not like that.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you know, it's like the singer or one or two guys. And everybody else is kind of replaceable.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, you know, a lot to do with our success. Obviously, like, you know, like we've gone through different aesthetics, you know, through eras of aesthetics, I should say, in our careers and stuff. And, you know, having Andy front the band, I mean, he's a star, you know, so you can't really have a successful band without, you know, a star like leading the band. But then also another attribute is having that, you know, those different personalities. Not one band member is like another in my band. You know, everyone's different. There's the jokester. You know, there's the dude. You know, everyone's different, and everyone offers something different, which I think the fans appreciate. I mean, I feel very fortunate, you know, to not only have like the career and the fans, but honestly have, you know, the band members I have. And, you know, my brothers. Like, my whole life, like I knew I could do it. I never knew if I was going to do it. I didn't know if I'd be able to because, you know, me as a drummer, I'm not. You know, like I wasn't going for the virtuoso type thing, you know.
Sure.
I wasn't going to like do clinics and stuff like that. So knowing that, I needed to surround myself with, you know, some charismatic characters and people that were talented enough to actually be able to do it themselves, you know, alongside. And so like I'm just fortunate enough to be alongside of, you know, the most talented. And
you guys have been able to be like relatively diverse and change your vibe the way that you kind of like redevelop or establish on a relationship level with anything, you kind of develop as you go, year after year. So it doesn't get stale to you or the people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's pretty groovy, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Gotta keep it interesting.
You gotta keep it fresh, right?
Yeah, gotta keep it fresh.
No, okay, cool, man. I can't thank you enough for
Dude, thanks for having me. Shaun, always a pleasure seeing you, my man. Always I love chatting with you every time. You're a great soul, man.